Hello, everyone, and welcome to this another webinar by ProThoughts on disciplined agile and agility. Hey, hi, thank you so much. No, there are a lot of people joining right now as I'm talking. So, a warm namaste from my side in India, and welcome all for this absolute. Okay, it's a very different topic today, and I'm covering a broader scope. Okay, how consultants or agile experts do it. Okay, so I want to peek into their minds and suggest some practices which they do. Maybe it can be helpful to implement in your day-to-day work. Okay, so this is something which is very interesting. I got this topic while I was attending one of the webinars, and no, the consultant was sharing knowledge, and I thought it was pretty useful for me. So I took it from that, and I created some content from the experiences I had. I spoke with some consultants. I researched on projectmanagement.com certain things, and I came up with certain things which I thought I can share with you, which can help you to do some things for your team, which is like, for example, many people do not know where to start their consulting assignment. So I think there are a lot of pointers. Okay, so I would like to now kickstart our today's webinar on how they do it, peek into the minds of successful agile consultants. So I think a pretty interesting topic, and this is me. Okay, so like I said, some people know me already, and this is my ikigai, project management, and I have been instrumental in using certifications to my advantage, leveraging it for my organizations. And yeah, I'm still learning, and I love what I do. Even today's webinar, so it took me a lot of effort to create some of the sliders and make a flow out of that. So I enjoyed doing that as well. So here is for you. Okay, before I start, I wanted to just put a quiz for you, or a poll. Okay, I'm going to launch it. Okay, who had joined, just to understand what do you think about that. Okay, like the question I asked, if you get a consulting assignment, okay, how to solve a problem, where do you start? Okay, is there some starting point for you? How do you go about doing thing? Okay, if you can put your thoughts on some one of the answer choices, that will be great. Please, everyone. It's like a little open-ended, or maybe a little ambiguous question. I'm not too sure. Okay, please go ahead. Uh, 60% answered it. Can you go ahead, please? More. I also do not know. I have put some choices as talking with some people. Maybe, maybe one of the choices which you thought might be there is not there. You might have thought should be there. So you can type that as well, what you think should be a choice, which I might have missed in this. Okay, 75% answered. I think that's a fair number. And okay, no one attempted three of the choices which I have mentioned. No, they are attempted. Okay, so I think four choices. Okay, setting expectation with management, choose a small team to understand the problem, training and awareness. Uh, yeah, and yeah, okay, super. Great. Okay, thank you so much. And that helps a lot. Okay, so I think yes, I don't know what should be the starting point, and one of my today's talk is also going to discuss about a starting point. What happens generally when I when we do Scrum, and I have done this assignments with fairly mid-sized companies. And what they do is generally what they do is that if they want to go into an agile, they first do the training and start with a small team and start from the basic Scrum methodology wherever they are. Okay, even if there are people who know Scrum, even if there are people do not know Scrum, whatever is the problem, I have seen this is like the go-to thing. It might work. I have seen it might not work as well. I have seen this not working as well. I don't know about your experiences, but people start, with a set mindset, a set thing. Okay, this is what we need to do. This is the problem. Every problem has one solution. So if there are many problems, let's do this. Nowadays, people think that every problem, Agile is the solution or a Scrum is the solution, and they get going on this. There might be 100 other problems. Okay, maybe your team structure is not good. Okay, maybe the control is vested with the higher management, and you're not giving authority even to the team. And then even if you do the Scrum or Agile, it will not going to work, right? So there can be hundreds of problems, but I have seen that many people start doing this. It might not work in that scenarios. So let's explore one of the things, which is like the double loop learning. I think which is very necessary in today's organization. Even in ProThoughts, in my team, I see many people exhibit what they call a single loop learning. Okay, what is a single loop learning? Single loop learning is that if you're not, okay, getting a solution to the problem, okay, you don't question the underlying basic assumptions, things that they have. You try variants of the different solution, right? Suppose today at ProThoughts, we do a lot of online thing. We have customers almost from 57 countries. We do a lot of online marketing. Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so the marketing guy will probably vary whatever he was doing with just a little modifications. I don't think you will get a drastic difference in the results. Okay, even if a new guy comes to do the same thing, he does also the same thing. Nobody is questioning why the fact that it is not working. Maybe it's a seasonal thing that is not working. Maybe we are targeting a wrong audience. I don't know. So nobody questions the basic underlying assumptions in tackling a problem. What you do is you might replace the resource. Saying that resource is not productive, you put another resource, and he tries to attempt the solution. And so that's what is the single loop learning. You never question the underlying assumption. And a double loop learning, okay, you try to find in our language the root cause of the problem, and therefore change also may change the method, right? So a single loop learning, these are the assumptions which lead to actions, which might be your strategies, your techniques, your practices in your organizations. Okay, you are using today Scrum, or you are using the PMP, or you are using any XYZ method, or you are using your own templates for some reason. Okay, this is the method. So you have been doing that. Now, I have seen organizations, you have the same kind of learning over the last 10 years. They have the same method. Nobody questions the method. It is carried forward. It was work 5 years back. It is now working, somewhat. They try to, repair the method by putting some kind of tweaks, but that's how it is. And that's where you get the results. Single loop learning is about, okay, adjusting your action based on the actions, based on the results that you're getting. And the double loop learning is questioning or challenging the assumptions that you have. Okay, and this, if you do this, you might have a different way of doing things. Right, this one of the basic things I have seen with many consultants, okay, who have been successful, okay, they try to do this and they buy enough time with the management, and which is a very important thing to do. Like I had said, setting expectations with management. I do a disciplined agile coach, okay, workshops, and I've done many so far. And what I have observed, right, a coach, what needs to be done, a coach generally works with a team. Okay, he works with a team. Like there was a UEFA World Cup, there were coaches for a football team. The coaches work with a team to inspire the team and leverage the potential of team to the fullest, right? So that's what is a coach job. So typically, be it a life coach, a football coach, or a agile coach, or whatever he is, he will typically try to do that. Although he's working with the team, a considerable time of him goes with setting expectations with the management. So although he's working with the team, I think he has a good job on hand to set expectations with the management, negotiate with the management. And I think that's a skill set a coach should have, a agile coach in our context should have, right? One of the other fundamental things which I'm going to show in the next slide, okay, which might be, which I resonated a lot with that slide, is this, okay, and then I will go how consultants work, okay, in what are the practices method for which you had joined the webinar, okay. This is something which I kind of resonated with slides, okay. So most of the consultants, or most of, if I had to say, the organizations or leaderships, okay, try to work on the top of the pyramid, practices and principles. They try to work on the top of the pyramid. What can be the different practices, what can be the different principles, how I can change with. So if there is any problem, typically you will see that they do this thing differently, okay, or maybe they will tackle this problem, they will use a different principle. Lean is not working, small batches are not working, okay, let's go for a big bang, okay. So typically you are working on this, but you need to understand the practices and principles are based on the values, laws, and the fulcrum is the mindset. You will all agree with me that, okay, a lot of today's organization follow agile, but in name only. They do all the things probably right as per what is written in the book, but they don't understand the meaning of agility, or they do not perhaps, okay, have the way of thinking in an agile way. Okay, they do not have a agile way of thinking, and that might be an issue. Okay, so that is, if you have to implement agile, I think most of your time should be in inculcating a mindset, and that's where probably a coach can help you a lot in developing an agile team. Coaches are temporary in nature, they are not permanent. Once their job is done, they should actually move out, so the team would not require them. So this is what, if you do it correctly, I think you will be exposed to a lot of practices and principles. I think we as organizations do not, okay, focus on this, the bottom three. We focus more on the top two. And that's where probably some of the problem happens. So your focus should be on the top two rather than the bottom three, or the ulta, okay, the opposite. Okay, your focus should be always on the bottom three to actually make the work, okay, a continuous way of working. So this is something which I wanted to state before I move ahead. And okay, this is a very important slide, because I don't want to thrust someone with a framework or a practice unless I change their mindset, okay, their way of thinking. And I think if you have to inculcate agility, you need to change the way of thinking. I think the process to do things as a consultant in any organization, and which I have collected and talked with so many people, okay, uh, is kind of a little straightforward. And I think you will also agree with me that this is on a broader scale. This is what it is. Possibly we do not know what is a scientific approach is, okay. Scientific approach is a structured way of doing things, okay, which has been tried and tested. Okay, it cannot be random and ad hoc. Okay, you cannot be reactive to situations. You should know what you are doing and be possibly give some time frame for that. Set an agenda, set the expectations of that agenda with the management, and you can choose a starting point. In my mind, okay, where I teach a lot of disciplined agile. A disciplined agile has its own pros and own cons. But one of the biggest advantage I find with disciplined agile is that you can choose your own starting point. Okay, depend and every team in the organization. So if there are 20 teams in the organizations, okay, if there are 20 teams in the organizations, every team, okay, can choose their own starting point. Somebody will be quite matured, already knows say Scrum or Lean. They can start from where they are placed currently. Some teams who do not know about Scrum maybe start at the starting point, which I mentioned earlier. So every team can choose their own starting point. It is not a standard that everyone should go to the same starting point and learn in the same way, because we believe every team would be at a different wavelength, different time zone, different way of thinking. Dynamics will different. Every team will have their own way of doing things, own context, a unique context with every team. So you need to understand that and acknowledge that every team can have their own starting point, right? That is a very key, which I think, which is we need to acknowledge as consultants. If you go to any other, like if I had to implement a practice called Scrum, I think there's a standard way of training and then doing this thing. I don't think it's necessary in every organization. Okay. And the other part is, as a consultant, you should be able to predict the benefits of change. You should see the change happening, and you should, from your experiences, tell if you do this, what can be, possibly you can envisage at the end of the cycle. And as a consultant, you should offer a team a bouquet of choices. I don't think it is very, you can't put a restriction that everyone in the team does what I say. I think let the team, okay, choose what they want to do. Okay, today is a knowledge economy, and you should give the power for the team to be comfortable doing what they want to do, be it a method, be it a process, be it the way of working, or be it, okay, what work they want to choose. Okay, so we have in Agile talk about which story point to choose. Okay, the product owner prioritizes that, but sometimes uh, teams can choose a user story which makes them feel good. Okay, that also is allowed in some of the organization. So I think this is something which, if we can keep it simple, that helps a lot. Okay, so I put some things in order for that. Okay, so idea is, okay, to keep it very simple, is to know as a consultant. I think the first, and like I have been a coach, the first thing which I do is a lot of observer. I think that's where you learn a lot. You understand who is the influencer, where can be the problems, okay, whom to talk with, what can be the roles, rather than jump into doing things, right? So this can be one of the things that you can actually start doing. So today's topic is a little kind of, I don't know, a little dry in that sense, okay? It's more of from experience, so it can be a little monologue, okay? Other my topics are more of, giving you some techniques to feed with, but I am giving and trying to structure, okay, things that, okay, how you can start doing things and how you can, use certain things, and maybe it can help you drastically as well, disruptively in your organizations. So this is one of the things that you need to do. I think it's kind of little obvious, but no, what we when we actually no don't do the things is that we don't follow a scientific approach, like preparing a good transition team to carry out the changes, okay, having a strict improvement backlog, limiting it to the work improvement items, okay, monitoring, doing continuous improvements, adjusting to your teams, your way of working. I think if you start doing that, I think you will get a lot of dividends in your organization, right? Okay, I'm going to show you something which very interesting, okay, and which I use, okay, in my coaching assignments and as an enterprise value stream consultants in agile transformation consulting assignments. I've done a couple of them, and one of the things which I use and which I got from the disciplined agile, um, uh, no, the fraternity, is this, okay, which is very interesting, using we call it the assessment board. And what they have done is that they depicted a value stream. A value stream, if some people do not know, is the flow of work in your organization. And typically it goes from a business to the implementation and operation and back to the customer. It starts with the customer as well. And this is the flow of work where there are many departments, many functions interact with each other to give a value to the customer. So customer is asking something, and in your organization, you are doing certain things to give a value to the customer. And every team, uh, okay, there are some competencies that every team brings to the table. Okay, for example, we have said that, okay, from our agile work, I assume that a lot of you are from the implementation background, doing a lot of projects. So maybe you want to know, probably deliver it faster or sooner, we call it. So how to deliver it sooner, and what are the competencies you should have? Like, you should have a proper intake process in the development, in the sense that, you should only choose items which you have capable of delivering it. You should not choose more than what you are capable. So you can develop a good intake process, how to, choose items as per your capacity, who chooses that, how the team takes a call. So these are certain competencies that you can have. And this, or above, these are the other competencies any large organization or project should have, like, leadership, there are certain roles which we have, etc. So these are the things that we do, and then we tell a lot of stakeholders and the team, the business teams, everything, to rate these competencies. If they are doing poorly, or they have this, you are doing good in that, or which competency is poor, which competency is good, okay, you know you have some issues. So these are some markings that you place on each of this competency across the value stream, so you know that what you are lacking in the organization. So I place this and tell the team to do this, and there are a lot of brainstorming, a lot of discussions happen. The more the team, the multi-team, there are many teams dependent on each other also come, the more interactions, and it is a very fun exercise. And many people tend to think really, okay, what is happening, okay, it's like a introspection for the team. They're really thinking, oh my god, I never realized that we didn't had a process itself to take the requirement. It was like pushed to us, and therefore I would say that we didn't have this competency at all. And that's what is a revelation from this, okay, where so with the discussions, what you get is where you stand poor, and because, okay, what can be the possible challenges across the value stream. So this, when you actually understand, okay, if you do not do this, okay, where, okay, you are lacking, okay. And once I make that revelation to them, okay, things, okay, people kind of start accepting it. Okay, so this is something which I'm not doing, and because I'm not doing this, okay, maybe I'm working on probably too many things, and that's where I'm doing multitasking, and probably that's one of the big reasons that I'm not delivering on time. Okay, so this is just a snapshot. I have more to this than this, but I'm just putting a snapshot. This can be different challenges you face. Okay, and once you have this, okay, then you start making a improvement board. Okay, you pick up one challenge and say that, okay, I want to correct this challenge, and I pick up that challenge, and then I, along with the coach or the consultant, you define what is the improvement action that you are going to do to take care of this challenge. Maybe a training is there, is one of the things, or maybe there are team adjustments or team structure change can be another thing. Okay, so we call it continuous improvement. Okay, whatever is the improvement action, and then you actually take it along. So this is one of the approaches that you can possibly, okay, experiment, okay, in your organization. This is a little structured way of doing things, okay, which gives you like a big idea, okay, where you stand, and then you narrow down to a very small improvement, and you see, and after the improvement action is done, you measure the improvement really it is working or not, and there is a way of measuring the impact of that, and then you decide, okay, it's working, then I move ahead. If it's not working, then I need to reiterate. But these are some of the ways that you can actually do a consulting assignment, and which has a very high impact, because once you show, okay, where the organization, where the team, where the individual is lacking, okay, I think, and then there's acceptance from the organization and the people, because they have only done it. I think no, you are on the same page, and then it becomes a little easier to put the action in place. So according to me, when you are doing a consulting assignment, um, having people on the same page about the problem statement is more important than finding a solution. I think there are 100 ways to do a solution, or there can be one way, but there are many ways. But unless you don't know the problem and you don't get the acceptance of the problem, okay, from the people, I think if you devise a method, this is one of the methods, then I think your work as a consultant becomes a lot easier. Okay, that's how you should actually get going on things. Okay, I'm giving you just a little idea things on that. Okay, also as a consultant, what I feel is one of the things that a good consultant should look for and peek into their workings is that a good consultant looks for delays in a value stream, or in a good flow. Okay, good flow is that a flow from the customer requesting something till he gets, there are no interruptions. A bad flow is there are so much waiting times and interruptions, and that bad flow happens because no, where are the delays happening in a flow? Okay, so okay, the idea of any consultant, I see that what they focus on, a very good agile expert is to understand where are the delays. If you understand the problem statement, then you need to see how you can remove the delays. One way to remove the delays is to make everything visible. And therefore, a lot of these lean principles, I'm very big fan of Japan. And this lean principles is one of the things that it makes everything visible. Okay, I think it's very important to make everything visible. So you know exactly what everyone is doing, where are the delays, what sometimes I did the exercise in my company. I saw that the bottleneck was a person who used to do things at his own sweet pace because he was not really understood that okay how to do things. And when we made him realize okay, this is because that you are doing slow, the rest of the engine is getting impacted, and then he saw that okay, because of me others are suffering, he actually corrected himself on the thing. So what happens is that many people, many times you do not know who is waiting and what is the impact of your work on others. So when you make everything visible, okay, you can actually do a much better job at things. Okay, so there is one question. I take questions. Oh no, I love interruptions, so don't bother to although I have 15-minute question and answer session at the end. You can ask me questions anytime. So Praful, okay, is asking a question. As a consultant, how do you handle bureaucracy in an organization which sometimes delay the decision making and thereby delaying the overall workflow? Okay, it's a very good question, and thank you for asking that. Actually, I have a slide to answer this question later, but let me give you a little peek into that slide itself right now. So Praful, one of the uh, if you have to correct okay certain things, generally, okay, I'm not saying always, but generally it will lead to maybe changing a team structure. Now you had devised a team structure at that point due to certain things, but as a good consultant, if you are doing agile, you have to look at the team structure, and it might require a change. Okay, and that can be okay a kind of a false sense of control in many organizations, and which is against the our principle agility to deliver value sooner, and that's where no there is a waiting period. So I think it the biggest delay according to me happens it's about waiting for manager approvals. Okay, that's the biggest delay that happens. So if you, and today's economy is knowledge economy where a team takes the decision. If you empower the team, I think the manager's role of today is to empower the team and let the team take a decision. So there is no question of approval. The manager is more of empowerment or enablement guy today, providing the right environment rather than a controlling facet in today's work is my belief. But every organization will be different. But I agree with you, that should be there. A straight answer is changing the team structure. Okay, a short and straight answer would be that. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay, let me move ahead. Thanks for the question. Okay, it helps others as well. So this is one of your delays. Okay. Okay, this is something which this is a slide taken from no one of my classes. Okay, uh, 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 so you know that no you need to answer this where you say that okay, what percentage of your times is spent on the right hand side and what percentage is spent on your left hand side. And I will not be surprised if a lot of you say that I spend a lot of time doing this than this. I will not be surprised about this. And okay, so these are typically, we call it in lean, the waste in a flow. And this waste happen okay due to various reasons. Okay, and I think as a good consultant you should try to find the waste, or these are what you call are the symptoms in a system that as a good consultant you will not try to find out. Like I said, the good technique is observation, where you try to see what is happening here. And I think the idea of a good consultant is to minimize the waste after finding possibly the root cause of things. Okay. Typically, root cause can be limited to one thing or a couple of things. It can't be multiple things. But yeah, this is something as a food for thought for a lot of you, where you are spending your time in the organization. And as a consultant, as an agile expert, I think you should look out for this. Okay, I hope it makes sense for you. Also, I said that if you automate, okay, testing and all, I think that will give you dividends. Okay. Today's age is automation is agility. It actually helps to deliver value sooner. It saves you cost. It gives you real-time information. It gives accurate information as well. Right? Okay. Another factor which I wish to just spend a couple of minutes. I just check the time. Okay. Another factor which I want to put as a consultant, that if you have to do that, I think good consultants will actually understand the idea of a culture. Okay, this is a famous quote. Okay, you know who is this guy? This is Peter Drucker, and this is a very famous quote that culture is strategy for breakfast. So you do 100 plans, and if the culture of the organization is what it takes, and culture is shaped by the decision making, your top management, and that can eat strategy for breakfast. So the the culture, like I have, there are enough definitions about culture. Okay, the culture is typically about the decision making or the experience we have, and it is typically influenced by the top management guys. Okay. Uh, okay. So if you want to experience this, understand the culture as a consultant, you need to look at your leaders' behavior, okay, the practices they do, and you will try to get a essence of the culture. Like if you see that, okay, leaders are coming casually, there is no respect for time, the office at 9 o'clock, it comes at 11 o'clock, but leave at 6 o'clock, you will actually understand the culture is a little loose in that sense. And there's not much on that targets, it's more on relationships. You will understand a little bit of that. Okay. So once you understand, I think your decision making, your expectation setting with the management. So as a good consultant, you need to understand the psyche of the organization, which will be implied by the culture. I think it's a very important facet. Okay, sometimes everyone understands it, but nobody speaks so much about that. So this is something I thought of putting it in the slide deck. Right. Okay. So this are something which I have been, like I said, I spoke with a lot of people actually, and try to given this webinar I was doing, I thought of just calling and checking on them, having a casual conversation about what they guys do, and know how they implement. So I got some ideas from them. I thought that I should kind of present it to you guys, okay, on this. So I picked up certain things, okay, from different people. Okay, there are some from India, some from the USA that I spoke with, and okay, one of the things many people do, and some of you have answered the question in my poll, which was there, working in small batches. I think that's a good idea to do. Okay, working with a smaller team and manifesting that problem in a smaller team and getting it right, and then explore it to the different teams. I think it's something which is a very good approach in my mind, and I have been doing that, right? Rather than working on a bigger team, experiment the ideas with a smaller team. The risk is lesser. You know what ideas are working, what not, and then extrapolate them to um, a, new team, and then see the results there. The essence here is finding the right team. Now, having the right team structure is damn important. No, I can't. talk. No, I have another slide on that, which I use in value stream. But finding the right teams are also very important. And maybe you need to take help of the management people, getting the right team on the board, right skill sets on the board, right dynamics on the board. I think if you get that right, given the other things, I think you have a higher chance of success there, right? Now, the other thing is, which I also included in the polls was setting expectations with management. And I mentioned that earlier, that as a consultant, most of your time should be, or most in pragmatic terms, would be spent with the management. Okay. Um, and setting that expectations with the management, even with the team, on clarity on what to achieve. Sometimes the management needs coaching, okay, rather than the teams. They do not know exactly what they want, okay, and sometimes they want the moon, sometimes they're not clear about what they want. So I think setting that expectation, whether it's customer success or it's delivering within time, what do exactly they want, okay. uh, Sometimes you think that the process is all right, but they are finding troubles with the way they manage. Maybe the problem is with the management. They don't want to hear it from anyone, and therefore they hired you to answer their questions. So you need to understand, set the right expected management. Having said that, it is not an easy job to do. It is not an easy job to do. I have been invited to a mid-sized Indian IT company to do that. And I gave them the bad news that no, you need to do the team structure. Okay. Like Praful asked me in the question, it was not taken very nicely. Okay. We gave the justification, what will be the benefits if you do this and why you should do that. It was accepted by the person who was driving the agenda, but when he presented to the board, it was not taken lightly. It was saying that it can lead to negative effects rather than positive effects. And the idea was not actually taken up and done that. So transformation, the bold decisions need to be backed up by executive leadership, and needs to be, we need to stay along with this. Otherwise, uh, the organization with the current thing, it will slowly deteriorate. Okay. And in today's world, I think the pace of change is pretty fast than earlier. So I think, so this is another aspect that we have. This is something which I spoke with a US consultant, and she said, okay, one of the things she does is that you're committed but not attached. If it, sometimes you're emotionally attached to the goal as a project manager and or a agile scrum master or agile team lead, and when it not happens, okay, a lot of dejections happening, etc. So I think it's very important to be committed to the goal but not attached. And I think that's a profound statement there that comes from expert. uh, uh, what they know, I think we know all this principle about no multitasking is especially in agile project, is a symptom that there is a waste in the system. So having goals like no multitasking, WIP limits, I think it helps the team to do good on their work. Like in ProThoughts, I have put a WIP limit that any person will work on specific work items, and once he finishes, only take new initiatives. So that is something which is okay, working pretty well for us on this. Okay. So Arun has asked, what are some good techniques for setting expectation with management and stakeholder management? Uh, can you expand on difference between commitment and attachment? So commitment is that you are like, uh, committed to get the goal done. Attachment is like emotionally attached, okay, at any cost. That sometimes you need to terminate the project, sometimes you need to let go this project because it's not working and try a new method. But you are so much attached to this, you are so much attached to your team and everyone working hard, that you are not able to understand that the way you are doing things is not working out. So the idea is not to get attached to the things, and things may not work out. You may want to try a new method. There are a lot of good techniques of setting expectation, but it works in different contexts. So I would not say that. Uh, so in project management, fortunately or unfortunately, there is not a best practice. We don't use the word best in project management. I know even a PMI, a strong body like a PMI, uses the word good practices, not best practices. A good practice is something which is a proven, they say. Okay, so it has been proven, it has been worked earlier, okay, in a maybe in a similar circumstances. Also, you have seen that many people who do certifications, they tell me, okay, oh, this is good, but I know what works in my organization. There are different ways I do it, but it still works, which is fairly accepted because they know their organization pretty well. It is not like, what PMI says should be implemented every. It's not like a gold standard, they say. But sometimes some teams work, some things work for you because there is a culture, there is an acceptance level, like a long-standing product team. So the idea is that, okay, it works. Okay, so there is not a set technique that, no, I would say this is a good technique. Okay, what you need to know is that, okay, these are the good practices and this is what has been working, this is the gap. So you should be aware to experiment. Okay, one of the things, since you asked about stakeholder management, and Arun, you might be aware of that, I think it's very important to classify the stakeholder and know who is your management, who are your key stakeholders, and to build a partnership with them. Okay, is very important. And when I say partnership, you need to ensure that you're sitting with them closely, interacting with them, knowing their thoughts, bouncing your thoughts, having that meaningful two-way discussions is very important. For that, the techniques can be anything, like having a scheduled meeting every day, or you have an influencer or a skip level manager or your manager who can make the meetings happen, whatever the techniques would be. So techniques are not important. I think you should see that how you guys can do. There is no magic pill here. Okay, it can no I whatever the techniques I have used, I always fail in the same technique somewhere else, but I try and test that. Okay, I will tell you, when I do one project, there was a very negative stakeholder, a very resistant stakeholder, and he was not agreeing to anything, and he was just not ready to cooperate with us. I used each and everything that I knew from the book, okay, which I had tried, but nothing was working. Okay, for a month we tried. We almost were demotivated. Uh, After a month, what we did, we realized that, okay, we tried having our skip level manager flying from Delhi. I was in Mumbai in India, and another city, Delhi. He came and met him. Okay, he was very experienced guy, my skip level manager some 10 years back. And he met and they had a discussion, and they agreed that they will meet every fortnight. And that maybe assuaged his feeling, and which we thought that, okay, what he wanted was a little ego massaging, a little kind of proper mapping which was missing. And that's where we started working. So maybe different techniques. I don't know whether I'm answering your question to the T, but yeah, so this can be different for different scenarios. But essentially, I want to end this with a last slide here. Okay, this is my favorite slide from value stream, which I teach. One of the things is of in any organization, if you have to do set up things, okay, one of the things you need to understand, what are the dependencies, where are the dependencies. You need to make them visible, because unless you make them visible, you cannot manage them, and unless you cannot manage them, you can't eliminate the dependencies. The dependencies are the waste in the system. And that what Praful asked earlier about I call it value creation structure. It's very important to structure the right teams. Okay, don't have the false sense of control. I think it's a gone era where you need to have a false sense of control with the managers. Okay, I think today's worker is smarter than the manager, and I think we all should recognize that. and to structure the right teams, okay, that will lead to the organizational agility. So I think this is something which I'm covering a lot of things in 45 minutes, but these are some of the good takeaways. I don't know whether I gave you a lot of information or very less information, but I tried to cover a good amount of things in this 50 minutes. Uh, these are no our agile certifications, and I'm a proponent of certifications. Okay, so we are still doing pretty much DWSM regularly. Okay, and it is going well. We have a training on this Saturday, okay, on DWSM, and we are doing a DVSC training in August. Okay, so we are looking forward to that. Okay, and this is one of my favorite certifications because it tells you a lot from a learning potential as well as how you can actually use this to be a good or a better consultant. So I think DBSC is a very good certification to have, right? And this is some markings where I say that, okay, what is the value of this certification in terms of expertise and how much organization believes they can use it? I find DBSC of a top quality there, right? Okay. Uh, I will put this in the chat window for everyone. You can join our LinkedIn group. We keep on putting a lot of uh, uh, updates, articles, news about disciplined agile, about agility, about Scrum, about PMI, not PMP. This is only devoted to agility. So please join that. We'll happy to have you and make you contribute to this group. Right? I put it in the chat. Okay, before I end and I open to question and answers, these are some of our dates. If anyone is interested in any of our agility certifications, we are running some offers. So if you are interested, you can connect with us, contact us. No, I will be very happy to connect with you on my LinkedIn for anything. No, not only the certification, for anything. I will be more than happy. Send me a request on my LinkedIn. LinkedIn, my ID is Ashish Sadekar. I'm putting my name here. So uh, no, it's a very unique name, so you will actually get it. Okay, and I will be very happy to have you connected. It's my privilege to have connected with you on this. Okay, so I'm going to open it for question and answers. Okay, so yeah, thanks, Arun. Okay, I just saw your message. Okay, please put your questions and I will be happy to answer your questions, and happy to interact with you. Okay, while you are answering these questions, okay, I'm going to launch our feedback poll. So, okay, and after that, I'm going to give you a PDU code for attending the webinar as well on the chat. Also, you will get please put this put your feedback, please, everyone. For every of this, there are 3 questions. For all the 3 questions, please. Okay, all of you will also receive an email on the one PDO, whoever has attended. I will also put it in the chat window on that. Okay, if you have any questions in the meanwhile, please type on this. Okay. Okay. Nowadays, if you know, there is no prerequisite for the higher certification, so you can actually do all the certification with one go. Okay, so that is a good one. Okay, Praful, you're saying I'm DSM certified. I got trained by you on this. I'm eligible to do DBSC, or is there intermediate certification that I should go? Oh, I was telling this only. So, Praful, no, last 6 months back, PMI has released the prerequisite. You can directly go for DBSC and therefore save the cost of an intermediate certification, which is the DSSM. Okay, so that way I don't know how long this would be, so grab that opportunity if you're keen. Right, okay, so you have this, okay. Please answer all the people. You have only 42%. Please answer everyone. The polls, that will really help. Your feedback is absolutely valuable for us. Okay, what is the other question? Buddy can't join. Can you please? Okay, can't join your group. Can you please add me? Oh, you send a request to the group, they will add you. Send a request, they will add you. They will add you tomorrow. Okay. Okay, please fill that or no. Okay, superb. Okay, so I am kind of ending the poll. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, and if there are no more questions, okay, there is some question. No. If there are no more questions, okay, we are at the end as well, 8:57. I will be happy to be in touch with you. These are our email IDs, okay, and I will be more than happy to be in touch with you. And you can call us on this number. You can mail me on my LinkedIn, direct message me for anything, any query you have, not only for certifications, but anything on agility, happy to help you at any point of time. Right. Thank you so much, all of you. Yeah, scaled and disciplined agile. No, no, buddy, very quickly, both are scaled is safe and disciplined agile is another. By PMI, no, scaled agility delivers safe. Both are pretty similar, but scaled agility is a framework, disciplined agile is a toolkit. So as a toolkit, it leverages the safe principle, it leverages lean principle, it leverages the Scrum practice as well. So it is something which is very different from the safe. Okay, but maybe I can have a call arranged for you to explain the difference, and I will send you an article to know the difference. We had done a webinar also between safe and disciplined agile. That can help. It's on YouTube, all the webinars, so you can also see type difference between safe and disciplined agile ProThoughts, and you will get the webinar. Okay. Hey, Praful, thanks. Okay, means a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you all. And be in touch, guys. Okay, your support means a lot for us. We do webinars for you, try to spread the knowledge, whatever we have. So thank you for attending, and hope it was useful for you, that you can use some bits of it in your day-to-day workings. Okay, thank you so much. And a warm namaste from my side. Have a great night ahead. Thank you. Bye. See ya.